What's up, guys and gals? We are back. Rockford Ordnance in a little live stream action tonight. I got a couple people in here. We had a heck of a day. Got to the range today and tested out 2 new guns, and it was a really good day. It was freezing out, but a good day. We got our Tavor, or I should say X95 Tavor, and we took that to the range. And let me make sure my volume's up right here. Took the X95 to the range and ran the first rounds through it. And also had a little time on my hands this week and built a tiny little shorty AR 7.5-inch barrel. And we ran that today too. Had to get them sighted in. We, of course, went with the Holosun 510 on them both. And the Tavor sighted in, it was basically co-witnessing with the factory sights. So that was just a little tweak to the left and we were on the money. The shorty AR, on the other hand, was a giant pain in the rear for whatever reason. I couldn't get it on paper right away. And so ended up messing with it for a little bit, but 75 yards dead on. And man, I'll tell you what, let's talk about this Tavor first. So if you guys haven't seen a picture of it on our Facebook or Instagram or any of the other ones, impressive. Now, I've never shot a bullpup, never so much as held one until I got this gun. So I got it a couple of days ago, and just shouldering it and all, and the feel of it, it exuded quality. But to take it to the range and shoot, it's a whole nother story. I had been telling everybody that if it was half as good as what I was expecting, that I'd be really happy. The first few shots, the recoil is almost non-existent. I mean, it's great. It really is. I was shooting M193 through it. If you guys have seen our SAM 5 video, shooting the same ammo, and that's given some nice 2-3 foot fireballs out of a 16-inch barrel. Well, this I didn't see the flashes like I did on the SAM 5. But that's not to say they're not there. I haven't previewed the video. I got back from the range. I was rushing back to get here and get this done, have a little dinner before I went live. And so I haven't had a chance to look at the video, but we shot it about 75 yards today. I probably ran 150 rounds through it, plus 20 rounds of steel case. That was kind of interesting. Now that 193, that's 55 grain, full power, 5.56 ammo, right? So I throw some Wolf in there. And by the way, it was cycling magnificently on the M193 ammo. It ran great. We ran about 100 rounds, 150 rounds of that. And then I put 20 rounds of Wolf steel case in there just to see how it would do. It shot the first couple rounds fine. All of a sudden, the trigger just went click. It reset the trigger, but it didn't pick up another round. When I went to eject the round after the click, there was nothing chambered. So it never picked up the round. My thought is it short stroked, essentially. And so I cocked another one in, shot it some more, and then the last round did not do the bolt hold open. So that Wolf ammo is notoriously underpowered. Russian ammo, for the most part, is underpowered, and it just wasn't cycling it enough. It's 223. It's not 556. It's not military, but I just want to see if it would run it, and it did. So that being said, running that, we shot some steel with it, of course, put it on paper, getting it sighted in. It ran flawlessly. Bit. I didn't even take it apart from the factory. I checked for bore obstructions and shot it. That was it. It ran really good. I'm really impressed. I like how the weight is back toward your shoulder. It's really cool. You can hold it up and it feels like you got a pistol. That front end, though, is very light because of the weight distribution. And when you're, shooting offhand, you're getting a bit of this, a bit of wobble. You got to slow down a little bit and take your time. But then again, I'm trying to hit a tiny bullseye and sight this thing in. So if I was just shooting offhand, probably not paying as much attention, just doing what comes natural, it would probably be fine. But that being said, everything else went great on it. So I got that sighted in, then we pulled out the shorty. If you haven't seen anything on that, I happened to cross somebody, I think on here, I think it might have been Joe, sent me an email that Primary Arms had a upper, an Aero Precision upper, 7.5 inch upper on sale for $199. So it was like, when I saw the email, it was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I'm like, I'll check that out. I go on, $199. How do you pass it up? Had everything but a handguard, right? So I hit buy and I got it. So went back to sleep, woke up the next morning, looked at my email. I'm like, I bought a upper last night. And actually, after I bought it, I went back to the website and it said out of stock. So I had gotten the last one, which was kind of cool. But it wasn't Joe that sent me the email on that. Anyhow, got the upper. And then, of course, you got an upper laying around. You got to build it. You can't let it lay around too long. So I was out of lower receivers. So when I picked up the Tavor, the only thing they had, usually they have Aero Precision, but everybody's out. And they had just a basic mil-spec receiver done by a company by the name of Recoil Gunworks out of Indiana. I picked up a regular mil-spec forged lower and a CNC'd machined lower, a billet lower. And I built hand comes out today or tomorrow. I have a Strike Industries brace. It's a PDW brace, and it's spring loaded. You hit a button and it extends, and it's really cool. The whole package is, I don't know, this big, 22 inches, something like that. Crazy. And I'll tell you what, the real cool thing about that PDW brace, if you guys haven't seen them, check it out. I'll do a video on just the brace because it comes with the buffer tube, the spring, and the buffer. The spring is a flat wire spring, and the buffer, unlike normal AR buffers that are, 4.5 inches, somewhere in there, it's this big. It's about 1 inch long. So you can use your standard bolt carrier group and not worry about it. And you think, well, how the heck's it going to slow it down enough? With the spring and all, they figured it out. It works great. It'll work with some 9. It'll work with all 5.56 guns. Pretty much anything but bigger bore stuff like 308, AR-10 stuff. And it shot surprisingly soft. Has a big boom to it with that 7.5 inch barrel. It's really cool. And I was shooting at dusk. That's why I was running late tonight, guys. I wanted to get some pictures and video of that thing at dusk with the fireballs. So we'll have some really good videos coming out this week for you guys on that Tavor and on that shorty, and a couple other things too. Been adding and building guns like crazy. So a lot of cool stuff to bring you guys. And I'm finally going to do a video on that Holosun 510C. And why? Because I counted. It's ridiculous. I have 9 of the things now. 9 of them. Think about that. That's, geez, that's enough to buy. If I sold them all, I could probably buy a Scar. How's that sound? That's ridiculous. Optics are crazy. That's the problem. The gun's not the problem, right? The optics and the slings and the this and the that and everything you need, it adds up, right? You don't want to have a gun half finished, because if you need it, it's not ready to go. Anyhow, welcome to Coffee and Kalashnikovs. We are Dunkin' Donuts coffee tonight. For those of you that don't live in a state where there's Dunkin' Donuts, I pity you. You don't know what you're missing. It's fabulous. Not only are their donuts good, but their coffee is probably the best over-the-counter coffee you can get. It's just great. Anyhow, I'm lucky enough to have them all over the place here. So yeah, got to the range, and we were the only ones there. 300 acres, and I was the only guy there. Could do anything. So I do want to address one thing. I had what I can only call a ginormous brain fart. We're at the range, and I realize I'm running late, and I'm going to post about the live stream tonight, right? So maybe one or two of you had to have caught this, because it's kind of a big deal. It's a big oopsie. I was really, really worried about it. I'm at the range, and I do a post, just a Facebook post that, hey, the stream's going to be delayed an hour tonight. No big deal. Then maybe because I was just in a hurry trying to finish up and get things loaded and get back and make sure I make the live stream, but for whatever reason, I have this giant brain fart, and I decided I'm going to do a live video from the range telling you guys that I'm going to be an hour late, right? Well, what does Genius Boy do? Like I said, total brain fart. I whip out this shorty and blast away to show you guys and say my goodbyes and everything, not thinking a thing about it. And then I go to shut the stream down. I say goodbye. I go to shut it down. And all of a sudden the phone the video shuts down. I thought, I didn't hit nothing. And then a notice comes up that they shut my stream down because I violated the policy of no firearms on. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that I did. Maybe because I was shooting video at the range, but I know better. I know better than that. And thank God, you say what you want about YouTube, but thank God that they didn't hammer me, because I got an email. I was frantic for a little bit. I'm like, I got to call somebody or email somebody or something, and I get an email, and I was almost afraid to open it. I thought, oh man, my channel's going to be gone, whatever. And I opened it up, and they said, we shut down your live stream. We deleted the content because of a violation of the firearms policy. And they said, we realize you may not know, or you made a mistake or whatever. And we're not going to give you a strike, but we're warning you, And I just went, oh, thank God there is a God. And, they could have probably shut my channel down. They probably could have. And they didn't. So I thank them for that, because it was truly, truly just a brain fart mistake, just a dumbass mistake. You get carried away. You're filming a video. I'm filming multiple videos. I'm running late for the live stream. Just on and on. And it didn't even cross my mind till I got that notice. And then I'm like, oh my God. So yeah, worked out though. It worked out. I thank them for that, because it was truly a mistake. So anyhow, maybe I'll be able to laugh at it tomorrow or something, but right now, no, I can't, because it worried me a lot. I put way too much work into this channel, and all that to violate something as stupid as that. But anyhow, thought you guys may find it amusing and have a laugh on me. But anyhow, yeah. Let's check in to the chat here. All I see is pink jays. Man, nobody got anything else to say, or is Joe just hogging it all here? Yeah, Joe said he found some ammo this week and saw a couple, saw Beretta, a few things. So maybe stuff's starting to come back. Let us know in the chat if you guys are starting to see more around your parts. Ammo is still at the big box stores. It's like non-existent. I haven't seen any. You know, I did that video, how to beat the ammo shortage, and I was doing well. I was finding all kinds of stuff, and now not so much. Now I did find a little here and there online, but it's crazy prices, and I don't need right now, so I'm not going to buy. I'm going to wait it out a little bit. I did run across a store in Tennessee that had a ton of steel case, like literally 500,000 rounds, pallets and pallets. All you wanted, and the prices weren't that bad. But anyhow, I've started to reload again in earnest, so I can have stuff to shoot at the range. And we did a bunch of 308, and I tested it out today. I just wanted to get the velocity on it. So we took our 308 AR out of storage. Haven't shot it in quite a while. And ran some of that through it, and it was spot on. I was shooting 168 grain match stuff that I shoot out of my precision bolt action in it. And this stuff I loaded specially for that. I'm just developing a load for it, 150 grain full metal jacket stuff. And yeah, it was nice. It grouped really well. So I could probably tweak it some more, but we'll see. If it runs good, I'm just going to leave it alone. It's an oddball powder because I bought a bunch of powder because of the shortages, and this was a powder I never used, but they had it. So it's called 2015 2015. It's actually made for 223 and bench rest calibers, but it will work well. They had a load for 308, so I tried it out, and not bad. Not bad. So we'll burn that powder up in those and bring you guys some video on the 308 and maybe the round we developed. Who knows? But yeah, that shorty shot well. That buffer, I was half expecting that maybe I'd have to get a adjustable gas block for it or something, but no, it ran great. It really did. And then of course we brought a couple AKs just because, yeah, got to shoot the AKs. So I shot a bunch of mags out of the Z-Pap. That gun grows on me. It's just so classic with that wood and everything. And then we shot the side folder too, the Sam 7 side folder. God, of all the AKs I've gotten recently, that thing is fabulous. I won an auction tonight for the OD Green Bulgarian mag for it. If any of you guys know those, the standard Bulgarian mags, the Circle 10 mags are probably the best mags, in my opinion, the best AK mag you can buy, period. Better than anything in any gun. And early on, years ago, probably before most of you were into AKs, they not only had the black ones that you're familiar with today, but they made some in plum, OD green. There was well, I don't know if it was off-white, but it was white or cream colored. I don't know if it faded. I don't know what the original color was, but there were a whole bunch of them. I think there was like desert tan, a couple other colors. I don't know. Anyhow, they made them for a little while, and then they just stopped, and they haven't made any since. So the plum ones were going for crazy money, like a Circle 10 plum waffle mag back even a few years ago were bringing, $500, stuff like that. And the OD green ones are probably a close second, although not as much money. So I got one of those. So, and then I got to talk about something too on the channel. That's kind of, I guess it just goes with the territory, and maybe, the channel's new enough that I just, or maybe it's that the channel's growing very quickly lately. And it's just something I hadn't seen before or experienced, but there's a few things kind of pissing me off about it. And it's happening on newer videos and some of my older ones, but my stuff's getting shown more by YouTube or shared more or whatever. And I'm getting more and more viewers, more and more subscribers. And, I had this core group of people until it started growing. And now you get, the idiots, for lack of a better term, and they're only in there to tell you how much they know and how little you or what you don't know. And some of them are playing rude, some are troll, some are what me. And what I tell you is, hopefully it's an educated opinion and you guys can learn something from it. I'm just trying to pass it along. This isn't, unlike a lot of people, this isn't to make money. This is to have fun. And I guess it is to build a brand a little bit in a way, because the end result is going to be having an FFL and kind of building a client base a little bit. And doing it that way. But again, this isn't going to be to make a living so much as it is for something to do when I retire, or semi-retire or whatever. So you get some of these guys in there, and I had mentioned something I did a video called The Best AK Out There. And the gist of the video was, what is the best import AK available today? Not so much on the secondary market, but on the primary market. What's the best AK out there? And really, what are we down to? I mean, there's some Wassers out there, but not a ton. I mean, the Wassers are shorter than I've ever seen them before. I mean, even in hard times, there were always Wassers around. You could always find a Wasser. By hook or by crook, you could get one. I have seen way less Wassers than I have Zastavas, way less than I have Arsenal products. They're just not out there. They had that fire. I don't know. It's over a year now. Maybe it's over 2 years. I don't know. Time flies. That's another thing. Time flies with some of this stuff. And so you got the Wasser, you got Zastava with the ZPAP, and you've got a multitude of stuff from Arsenal, both stamped and milled guns. And that's about it. Yeah, you have some American stuff, Kalashnikovs USA and the Palmetto State, but I wasn't so much talking about those. I was talking about imports and what you should get now if there's an import ban, and what was the best AK. And of course, in the thumbnail, I'm holding the Zastava, right? And my conclusion in the video was that for the money and being an import and all that other good stuff, that the Zastava was probably the best out there for the money right now. For you Wasser fans, don't take offense, but the Zastava is a better rifle. It just is. Nothing wrong with the Wasser. I own a Wasser. Matter of fact, I want to buy another Wasser because mine's an old one when they were built like shit. And I'd like a better example of it. So if there was one available, I'd probably buy it right now. But nothing wrong with it. But the Zastava is a better rifle. It just is. Finished better fit, better machining, better everything. And then, this is just my likes. I like the thicker receiver better. I like a heavier barrel. I like the bulge trunnions. I like the stamp guns, the Wasser just sounds a bit tinny to me, and I know it doesn't matter, but it's my preference, I guess, is the word I'm looking for. I really don't like shooting a Wasser. I just don't. And that doesn't make it bad. It's just my preference. So please don't take it that way. But somebody comes in there, and I had mentioned kind of the history of the ZPAP. And maybe some of you guys here don't even know this, but at the beginning, I said, tonight's video is on the NPAP. And I said, oh, wait, or is it the ZPAP? I was kind of like joking, and I held up the ZPAP and I said, essentially, the ZPAP started out life as the NPAP. And even some of you guys are looking like, well, no, you're wrong. It didn't. Well, yes, it did. For some of you that maybe just got in the game or don't know, when the ZPAP was introduced, it was a replacement for the NPAP. And by that, I mean the NPAP went away and the ZPAP was a replacement for it. And it was, for all intents and purposes, a NPAP. It did not have bulge trunnions when it came out. And it did not have the thicker receiver. It was a 1 millimeter receiver, standard trunnions, no chrome bore. It was an NPAP. Yes, the rivet pattern in the back was a little bit different, or at least the same as, and they're pointing out that you don't know anything and you should go to this channel if you want real information and all of this. And I guess I shouldn't care, I really shouldn't, but I don't know. It just bugs me. So I had to go, and it was like 3 or 4 people. I had to write this whole dissertation to them explaining, look, when the ZPAP came out, it was no bulge trunnions, thin receiver, no chrome bore. And you thought so you'd kick their puppy or something. But it's the truth. For you guys that remember, that's how they came out. It wasn't until later that they offered the bulge trunnion gun, and then came out with the original bulge trunnion guns. Didn't have chrome bores. That came out later. That was an add-on this last year. Maybe it's 2 years now, but because time flies. But whatever, it was an add-on. And they either weren't in the game back when all this happened and they're new to the AK platform, or they just didn't know. I don't know. But there's a million videos of when the ZPAP came out and it was an NPAP. Anyways, so that stuff bugs me, and they go on and on and on and different stuff. I don't know. It just, I guess I shouldn't care. I should have a thicker skin, right? But just bug me. Anyhow, maybe some of you guys learned a little something on that too just now. I don't know. Or maybe I dreamed it all. Who knows? No, kidding. Let's get over to the chat real quick here. I got to get in here before Joe hogs of Yugo AKs and Bulgarian mags. So who knows where we go tonight, but we'll be talking about a lot of stuff and moving through all of it. If you guys want to talk about something, bring it up in the chat here, and I will touch on it. I'm trying to get here, and all of a sudden my chat moved. Oh, cool. I have one of those, the original, not the X95. Yeah, the original. That was a big debate in my head of what I should get, because when I went to research it, the first thing I saw was a video saying, okay, here's the original Tavor, and now they came out with the X95, and it's got this, and this improvement. And by the way, the X95 was well received, but now a lot of guys are going for the original. And I'm like, oh, great. What do I do now? But all in all, when I looked at the differences and everything, 95. So that's what I got. And it was fabulous today. Easy to handle firearm. It's just going to take some getting used to on the mag changes. And today was just sighting it in, test firing it, getting the lay of the land, seeing what the ejection was like, what it would run, all that kind of, and it was a lot of fun. I was surprised. I'm really liking it, but it's going to be a lot more fun when I can get out there without the cameras and all that and just work with it, practice mag changes, see what it can do, what it can't do, stretch its legs a little bit, see there. Maybe find out what it likes. All I ran through it today was M193 and one box of steel case, which it did. It was short stroking on that. So I don't know. But yeah, we went through that. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Paid way too much for it in 2014 when they first hit the market. Yeah, well, I paid too much for this too. They were like a list of $17.95. I think I paid $2,000 or something. Anyhow, those Tavors, cool. I'm getting grumpy. I need my Rona check. Me too. I need a Rona check. You need to back up all your stuff, dude. What do you mean back it up? Oh, in case I get zapped. Did you guys hear the story I told about? I hope all you heard about what I did today like an idiot. It was unbelievable. Let's see. Red Glare Bullet Creations. I live in Rockford, Illinois, and can't find anything. Rockford was how I found this channel. Yeah. I'm originally from a little farm town, and my kids still live here in my old house. And I come down weekends, almost every weekend, and I come down usually at least one time during the week. And I shoot at a place down here. We were shooting down in Rockford today, outside of, well, not Rockford, about 45 minutes west of there today. But yeah, so I get down here all the time. And I like to stay north as much as I can. And it was cold up north today, let me tell you. It was not warm. Hopefully it was a little warmer down by, let's see. Joe Morgan, Rockford's a good guy. Love the plum. Yeah, those mags are cool. Orion Fixture. Yeah, Chris used to live in Rockford. Yep. Orion's from Illinois, but I think further towards Chicago. Maybe, I don't know exactly the town, and I don't want to dox them, but I think it's somewhere like halfway, like maybe the Huntley area or McHenry area, something like that. I don't know. And if I said the actual town, I don't know if it is or not. So I'm guessing, put it that way. Good to have you, Orion. Good to have you here. Caesar's here. Caesar Hernandez is back. Still got my fingers crossed for some actual roll coming back. There's some on a perch shit, but they're out there. Ammo is still going up at the local monthly auction. 762.51 is $1 to $1. Yeah, that's why I started reloading 308 yesterday. I wanted to shoot that, and just too much money to waste the other stuff. Let's see. 28EDU is here. Heck yeah, I had a lot of fun hanging out with him. Yeah, he did. Did you guys watch his video? He went down to Marksman. Is it Marksman TV, I think? His name is Chris as well, and he's got a gun. Some of it's common, and other is a little bit rarer, some really rare. Just depends what he gets that week. And he starts out, he shows you the most common ones first, and then the nicer ones later. And he's not selling the guns, he's just showing them on there. Now, they are for sale at his shop, and I think he puts on auction sites and whatnot. But he's always got some interesting, neat stuff. And he does his gun vlogs, his gun store vlogs, which I love because, the whole plan with this is to open an FFL, and it gives you a little insight into that world, into the running of the business, the state of how things are in that world, and what supply and demand is like, and all kinds of stuff. So I've been watching his channel for years, but 28EDU actually drove down there, brought some of his guns, and showed them on the Guns of the Week video, and did that with them. And then they just had a hangout video too, and talked about all kinds of good stuff. I didn't get to live on Saturday because I was working, but watched it afterwards. It was really good. Two good guys, and very knowledgeable, both of them. So it was cool to see. Very cool. So if you get a chance, stop over there and check it out. Yeah, I wonder, you probably didn't get to go shooting, huh? The neighbor always complains every time we shoot, the police come and say we are good to go. Yeah, had the same thing here. We have no noise ordinance, no nothing, but they call anyways. Finally, I'm on the 50th trip. The cops told him if he called one more time, he'd arrest them. So that was cool. Anymore. Any chance of a Krebs IMS video where you run it on the AK? Yes, I can do that. I've got one in my possession for an AR. It's essentially the same thing, but I can do one. I got to get a hold of Mark anyways. I'm going to get him on a live stream here. We're going to do a live stream with Mr. Krebs, and I got to talk to him. I haven't seen him in quite a while. It's just been a long time. He last I talked to him, it was beginning of COVID, and he was a bit free over it all. Health concerns and whatnot, because he's a little bit older, but I got to talk to him. But yeah, we can do that. That IMS is quite a system, magnificent system, actually. Really like it. And on the AK, it's cool. You can, how it was developed, no, not just as a flash hider. It was developed as a system for weld and pin jobs. So let's say you want to run a 14.5-inch barrel, but you don't want to do a SBR. 14.5-inch gun, and then you weld and pin the IMS system on there to bring it over 16 inches. So number one, it's legal. Number two, you're not stuck with just whatever device you choose to weld on there. It is a flash hider. You can add a compensator, then you can add a brake over it, and you can run a Liberty suppressor with it. So it's 4 choices, even though you welded 1 unit to it. So it just gives you choices after the fact. You're not stuck with one thing like a flash hider, or one thing like a muzzle brake, or you can change it up. So when that flash hider, it's a 4-prong. It does ring a little, which bugs me, but it's black as night. You've never seen a flash hider work better in your life than this. He went through, and I'm not kidding. When I got him on the live stream, I'll ask him the question. You guys will freak. I want to say 130 different prototypes with minor changes that he did to get this thing right. It was nuts. But yeah, it works, let me tell you. 2AEDU. Yes, Joe Radford is putting out lots of info. How much was the OD Green Circle 10 mag? No, I know. I thought it was going to be like 200. I got it for like $1.60. So that was a deal. That was a deal. The same guy had one on the week before. I missed out on it. I got one, so I'm glad I got it. Videos in the comments. Some guy said, if you guys watch the, that's all I was pointing out was it's green. I like it. That's all. I think it's cool. I like anything OD green. You could make a matter of fact, I have OD green Yeti mugs. I'm wearing OD green. I have OD green Solomon boots. I have everything I own is OD green. So that's all I was saying. And this guy comes in and says, you know nothing about what works. That's cheap junk, and you don't know what you're talking about. Head over to such and such a channel and this and that. God, these guys, I mean, you really got that much time on your hands and animosity and on, or you want to prove how much you know? I don't know about you guys. I want to learn more. I learned to a lot of people. To sit with a guy like Mark Krebs, you just sit like this, like, oh my God. I mean, the amount of knowledge that you can glean. I could sit with him for weeks on end and just talk. He forgot more yesterday than I'll know in a lifetime about the AK platform. It's incredible, and the stories he tells. And I mean, the man's traveled to Russia and worked with Kalashnikov over there and been in the factories, and it's unbelievable. Anyhow, but we might have beef if he keeps putting wassers down. I'm not putting them down. My first gun was, my second gun was a wasser. My first one was a Yugo. That's why I still have such a love for those. But nothing wrong with wassers. You know what the problem with wassers is? My wasser. That's what's wrong. My wasser just, it's, when they riveted this thing, picture the receiver, looking down the receiver, the thing, if anybody's ever built an AK, if you don't switch up your riveting side to side, front to back, you run the risks twisted. And enough to, you look at the gun and you go, what's wrong with this thing? It's not straight. Okay, I'll fix the sight. And then you look, something's wrong. What is wrong? I can't picture it. And then you flip it over and you have the mag sticking up and you have the hand, the pistol grip sticking up, and you get just, when you're dry cycling it, it just feels like and sounds like junk. And it bugs me. So that's my problem with wassers is my early wasser. That's all. I need to get a new one. And I want to, because that's a gun I can do anything to, right? I can Cerakote it. I can add this, add that, change about it. The majority of my stuff right now are crazy, collectible, expensive stuff that you almost don't want to shoot. I mean, look at these Vepers. My God, look what they're going for. I can't even believe it. I mean, it's, yeah, everybody wants that to happen to your guns, but then you don't want it to happen. And by the same token, I'm not going to stop shooting them, but it's kind of nice not to have to. So let's see. He helped me out too if I passed on the G2C. I saw G2C in the store, or G3C in the store the other day. And listen to this, guys. And 2A will dig this. Well, he won't like it, but he'll be interested, and it's going to piss him off. Farm the other day. Just stopped in my weekly trip, see what they got. And lo and behold, there's the Taurus sitting there. And they got like 20 guns in the cabinet, right? Normally they'd have 500. And 10 of them are the Heritage pistols, the single actions, 22s. 10 of them are that. They've got a couple Rugers, a smattering of stuff, an FN, and there's the Taurus G3. And a guy that's very new to firearms, you could tell, asks, he says, well, sometimes my dog poops OD green. I don't know what, but yeah. I don't know. I just like it. I think, you know what it is, guys? Guns are black and black and black and black and silver and black and black and silver and black and black and black and polished silver and black and wood and black and wood and desert tan thrown in for whatever. And oh my God. You get sick of staring at you walk in my vault and you look and you go, Jesus, I need something else. So it started with that. My first OD one was an AR I built, and it just progressed from there. So the other day I was actually headed to the range, and I threw on a pair of I think they're made by Proper. They have contracts with the Army for their gear, their pants, shirts, etc. And I had a set of those pants on in OD. I think I had this jacket on. I had an OD green hat and OD green Solomon boots, and I was OD from head to toe. And I'm walking out. My wife looked at me. She goes, "What's up there, jolly green giant?" And she said, "That's a little much." And I looked down and I'm like, yeah, military socks with the padded soles. They're really comfortable, really comfortable. When they're new and near new, they're really padded and cushy. When the padding wears out, they're just socks. But until then, they're great. If you ever get a chance or you're at a surplus store, grab a couple of pairs. They're awesome. Anyhow, Guero's in the house too. He's here. Good to have you, man. Everybody's popping in. Never heard the Taurus story at Buffer. Oh, okay. So I walk in Fleet Farm real quick. I'm in Fleet Farm. A new gun owner walks to the counter. They got very few guns. Guy says, "Oh, you got a G3 Taurus. That's what I'm looking for." And the guy says, "Oh, yeah, but look at this. You'd be so much better off with this Ruger. You know, those Tauruses, they got a little better, but you don't want to mess with them." Just talking the thing down like crazy. And it would have been perfect for a new gun owner. And I wanted to pull the guy aside, but I didn't feel it was my place. You know, he's selling what he's selling. I wouldn't want someone doing it to me. At my business. But had he left and I had the chance, I definitely would have said something to him like, "Hey, you want to check out that Taurus? It's awesome. It's inexpensive and it'll run. But I didn't get the opportunity. But just another gun store know-it-all, spouting off his fanboy crap, that kind of stuff. So anyhow, thought you'd enjoy it or get pissed off at it or whatever. But yeah, it was kind of amazing to see. But no, I should, you know what? I'm in there every week. I should just hand them one of my business cards with your handle on the back of it and say, "You might want to check this out." As a matter of fact, I'll do it. That'd be hilarious. Chase Kelly's here. What's going on, Chase? Good to have you here. Guerrero, my nephew bought a Shield Plus, taught him how to shoot Sunday. It was a very nice pistol. Awesome. You got somebody into the sport and taught him how to shoot, and they got a new gun. That's awesome. Awesome. That's it, guys. That's what we got to do. It's strength in numbers. That's all it is. We have to do it. We have to be there. Everyone we can bring in, the better. And it'll just we can't let them outnumber us. I think of Palmetto State Armory all the time. And if you've ever heard the story or seen him do the interview, his whole idea was that he was going to make AR-15s, a quality AR-15, cheap enough where every household could have one. Guys, think back. Before Palmetto in the last, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, ARs were not cheap guns. AKs were. It was the flip-flop, right? AKs were the prepper rifle. They were the guns you could go buy for $200 and buy 6 of them and put them away in your stash. And you could buy crates and crates of ammo for dirt cheap. And the ARs were the expensive stuff, right? I mean, $900, $1,200, they were expensive. Not everybody could afford one. I literally could not afford one. And he made the pledge that he wanted to build a quality AR that every man could afford, kind of like the Henry Ford thing, right? He figured if he got enough of them out there in circulation, enough rifles everywhere in every household, that they would become so common, so sporting rifle. And that's what he was hoping to achieve with Palmetto State Armory. And I would say that he accomplished his goal, or damn near. He certainly got a quality product for a ridiculously low price. I mean, think about what you get. I just bought a quality Aero Precision upper, complete upper, for $199. How do you do that? I was in manufacturing. How do you beaver? 1, barrel 2. Now, yeah, you can get cheaper barrels, but I would argue that any American-made barrel on the market today is not cheap. Gas block, gas tube. Maybe you get a muzzle device, forward assist, dust cover, all this stuff, right? And $199, not to mention the labor to put it together and ship it and everything else. How do you do that? I know how you do it. I get it, but it's just amazing that you can get such a fine rifle, and they are today for the most part. Any AR is a good rifle. Think about it. Yeah, they're not all chrome lined. Okay, I get it. Yeah, some may have cheaper furniture, something maybe non-mil spec, but for the average owner out there, the average owner is not us guys. The average owner out there buys his rifle or his pistol, buys 2 boxes of ammo, takes it to the range, shoots half a box to a box, puts it in the case in the closet, and the ammo goes in the drawer, and maybe he takes it out 2 years from now, maybe never, right? Maybe the pistol sits in the nightstand or whatever. But I would argue that just about any AR out there on the market today is well worth the sum they're bringing. And yes, there's high-end stuff in everything. We know that, but for a $600 AR, that's crazy. A 500, 400, I think the lowest I ever saw an AR was 350 or something like that. That's crazy. We're not talking about communist labor, right? Socialist labor putting AKs together where the state's paying for it, right? We're talking about a capitalistic system where everybody's making money. That's insane. So anyhow, that was his plan. And I don't know where it was going, but whatever. Let's see. You guys see the new Taurus that is coming out soon. Uh-oh. What's new? You know what? That's why I like some of these companies like, I don't know, Ruger and Keltec. Think about Keltec. They said their stuff, one is uglier than the next. They're right. And but they sure do make some cool stuff. Absolutely cool stuff. Great ideas. It's like they're this think tank of engineers and who can come up with the craziest idea, and then they actually take it to market. It's like, wow. But they really make some neat stuff. So Taurus maybe is getting like that. Maybe they're bringing something cool out. Martin Co. I got a Keltec 22 WMR to Plink, but it's not cheap ammo. That 22 Magnum is cool stuff. Some will argue that it's as fast or even has, in certain ways, better ballistics than the 5.7. And that it may have the capability of defeating armor just as well as that 5.7. And these guys will argue that the 5.7 isn't all what it's cracked up to be. They'll say that, it's not the armor defeater. Obviously, it's not defeating steel. It's at best. But yeah, I was reading a whole argument on it not too long ago. But 22 mag is a fun caliber. That's for sure. Guys, give me 30 seconds, 1 minute tops break. I'll be right back, okay? Anything about it. And thank God the clerk there was kind of a milsurp addict. And let me tell you about these Mosins. And yeah, and at the time, they had a couple of 9130s, but M44s coming out your ears. And it's funny because I talked to guys in other areas of the country, and they didn't see anywhere near the M44s we did. And it's funny, that was the first one I bought because it was cool. It had that folding bayonet and everything. And I bought that and then jumped into all the other, bought as many as I wanted. But yeah, this guy got me back into it. So yeah, cheap guns, that's why we bought them. Started with the Mosins, and right from there I went to the AKs. You walked in a shop and there were the $300 Wassers and the $399 for a M70 And yeah, that's how it started. And it wasn't until late few years where I really went to town, where I had the money to do it. And you start picking up steam. So for you young guys out there, or people just getting into it, don't look at some of these old stories that us old farts tell you about $69 Mosins and $2.99 Wassers. Yeah, those were great days. But look at what's going on until recently. ARs, God, ARs were the thing. And I think I remember 2A and if not him, I can't remember who it was, but a lot of guys were saying, hey guys, this is the time of the AR. Buy all you can, because they won't be like this forever, right? Everything has its day. And guys before me, back in the day, were buying, well, I still hit the SKS thing. I bought SKSs for $100, and I think the most I ever paid was $199. But you could get Russians, you could get Chinese for $99. I'm not kidding, $125. And I think the most I paid was $199 for my Yugo. And so I even hit those. But going back the guys that are older than me, it was Garands and M1 carbines, the days of those things. They were dirt cheap, even CMP guns were dirt cheap. In talking relatively, Grands are still cheap from the CMP for the most part, but right now they seem to be going $1,000 to $1,400, and that's still a steal for that level of quality. But guys from that older age group will say, I would never pay $1,000 for that. They were getting them for pennies. It was nothing. So everybody has its day. Don't despair. Don't say, oh, the good days are over, or look what the prices have done. It'll all come back, guys. It always does. Even in the worst days and the worst fears, it's come back. And a lot of people are saying ammo won't come back down. Yes, it's true that every time we've had a price increase due to a event, an election, or some other newsworthy event, it tends to never come back to that old level. Tell you what it's going to take. First of all, it's going to take some time. It always takes time. But I'll argue that people have probably stored up, stashed, bought, whatever, more ammo in the last year or so than they ever have before. And not just since the outbreak of the, but also because it was so cheap before. I mean, I was buying 1,000 rounds of Golden Tiger for $169. And, AR ammo was still, I want to say 400, somewhere around there for 1,000, whatever. But 9mm, $168 1,000, up until the beginning of this crap. So you had, it's so cheap that people were just buying mass amounts of it. I mean, I know I was. How could you not? It was free, essentially. I mean, think about it. Today, $100 spends like a 20 used to, in my book. Even through my 20s and 30s, 100 is how we used to spend a 20 now. That's what it is. So when you see ammo for that quantity for $170, yeah, give me 4. But that'll come back around. It's going to take time. And it'll drop. You're going to see people will have their fill. It's a supply and demand thing. Yes, people are still buying it because it's not on the shelves. But once it starts trickling in, once the caliber starts stacking up, once the shelves start filling and they realize, hey, it's back, that'll all slow down. The factories will get caught up. There'll be supply out there. Let's say it gets to normal levels. Price will hold, and then as soon as we get past that, it'll start dropping. As soon as they're calling gun shops and their customers are saying, no, don't need any this week. That's when it starts to drop. And yes, we had a good run with Trump. And, that was 4 years of gun shops telling them, nope, we got plenty. But if we get in a situation like that again, Republicans in office, that kind of thing, it'll happen again. Will it come all the way down? Will I see sub $200 1,000 AK ammo? I'll say maybe, but not $170. I think maybe if we had the circumstances we had before and it settled in where you had a 4-year, 8-year stretch, you may see that. But there's according to my people in the business, they've seen, I think it was federal, they've seen 3 15% increases over the last few months, and another one due. So they're raising it, and that's due to raw materials, shipping, whatnot. But that comes and goes too. Raw material supply gets better. You'll see 250 1,000 on AK ammo. I'm not saying in the next year, not even the next 2 years, maybe 4 years, 6 years from now, maybe. It just depends how it goes, guys. Supply and demand is just that. If it drops, it drops. If there's a lot of ammo and things are good and there's not political pressure on it, it'll drop. It'll certainly drop from the levels it's at now. That's a for sure. I don't know. I don't know. Gloom and doom. I'm not saying we don't have to fight. We don't have to do. We're not under pressure. We're not under extreme pressure. We are. We're still in those times. That's what I'm saying. It's out of ways. So anyhow, I paid $12 for a 20-round box of 7.62. I'll tell you right now, that sounds kind of cheap. If you're buying in single box quantities, that's probably not a bad price out there right now, or average, I'd say. Limit 1 box, have to order some online. My nephew ordered 309 Wolf of all 2-8 warehouse. Came quick. Yeah, I'm starting to see case quantities of stuff around again here and there. So not a big deal. If I want something, I can get it. It's just how much I'm going to pay for it. That's all. What'd you say about the legal part? I can't legally say what it is, but there's a new one coming. Oh, that's about right. I already spent my inflated new. I hate this chat. It goes and then I'm reading something. I can't find it. Where the heck did it go? I want to read about what he built. Here it is. Man, that went fast. Carry handle and Anderson lower and build kit. Total cost $290. How do you guys? $290, and there ain't nothing wrong with Anderson. People, I don't even know why people put down Anderson or laugh at it. It is a mil spec forged lower, and if you've watched any videos on the Anderson factory, it's just as good as Aero Precision or anybody else out there. It's just they developed this name for being so cheap. I think the cheapest I ever saw them was $39 for a lower. The shipping costs more and the transfer. That's why I never bought them online, because the transfer got you as much as the cost of the receiver. You're better off just buying it from your local guy for several reasons. But yeah, I'm not going to do it. All I can do is hold my guns, clean them, and cry for a while. By side today, it's like buying a car, for Christ's sake. I got a Honda, Big Red, that I use when we're running around shooting, or I bring it to 3-gun events and stuff. Can't complain. What kind of HK? There's a gun I want. That's a gun I want. I just can't stomach $4,000 for a 9mm pistol, essentially. Christ, $4,000. Yeah, they're iconic. Yeah, it's HK. Yeah, it's roller block. Yeah, it's quality. Yeah, it's the typical German engineering, the perfect ball bearing. But $4,000. I mean, I kind of picture it like my Scorpion. I got a nice Scorpion. It's a little nicer than the Scorpion, but it's 7 times. Most of it's the how I kind of the video games, this and that. Is it that great? I don't know. I've never shot one. Maybe it is. Maybe it's got a bad guys or no. Seems to have been pretty good. They usually rate the 22 mag out of a barrel that is more than twice as long as. Yeah, you're right. You know, it's always that kind of crap, isn't it? Tactics and speeds and stuff like that. Or silencers. That's even a worse game. Everything from packing a silencer with grease to getting the air out of it, the water, this, that, the other thing. It's amazing what they do. When compared with equal barrels, 5.7 kills it, and I'm not a 5.7 fanboy, just saying. Well, I am. I'm a 5.7 fanboy. Why? Because I paid way too much for a 5.7. No. I was smart about it. I didn't get the FN. I got the Ruger. And the Ruger's just a cool gun. It's a range toy. That's all it is a range toy. But it's a really cool-looking range toy. And it's got fiber optic sights and a cool cutouts on the barrel. And who can't look at one of those rounds, that little baby bottleneck A? I literally had it stolen out of my hand. I was looking at it, and I set it down. The guy next to me grabbed it and said, "I'll take it." And I'm like, dude, I was looking at it. Anyhow, best thing ever happened to me, because now I ran into a used one, and God, they feel horrible. The Ruger, in my opinion, is a better gun. Much better gun. The feel of that FN is just not there. Not there. It's not what you expect in an FN. It does not exude that quality, not have that solid feel to it. It shouldn't have the FN name on it. It really shouldn't. Anyhow, Guerrero, I painted my sights with the glow paint, but it sucks because I have to change them out. Oh, charge them with light. Yeah, that's okay. With today's flashlights, man, it's not a big deal. Hit it, zap, charged. Let's see. Dang it, stream gone. Stream ain't gone. What are you talking about? It's still here. By the way, the internet will be, I'm going to say, all fixed. We're going to have it up there in the clear line of sight. This thing's going to just rage. It's going to be like, I forget what it's going to be, over 200 or 300 megabits per second, something crazy, maybe even higher, like 6. It's a Starlink system. I guess it was developed in tandem or with or by the guy who expects some issues. And as it gets better and better. So we will see. But that's supposed to basically cure it once I get it up there. So we'll see. So sorry, guys, you got to deal with it for another couple. I don't know. I wish I could shoot it. I can't find. Well, I can find ammo, but I refuse to pay $2.50 a round. That's what it's going for right now. So I have like a box and a half of ammo left, and I don't want to shoot it. 5.7. What do you think? Think they make dies for it? Think about how easy you can crush the neck of a 223 when you're reloading it. Imagine doing the 5.7. That'd be tough. I'm a fan of 22 long rifle. It's a good gun because you can get ammo, but defense isn't the best choice. And shot a bunch of stuff, but one was an Ivor Johnson 22. Here we go, internet buffering. Did an Ivor Johnson 22, and while I'm shooting it, I shoot a mag, I hand it to my buddy, he shoots a mag, and on the last shot, I see, ping, the ejector he's seen again. So I got to find an ejector somewhere. It's actually my dad's gun, so I have to find the ejector before he gets back from his winter haunts and finds out that his little 22 ain't running. I'll be a dead man. Let's see. Everything is going up. It won't. 3/4 of the money in circulation has been printed in the past year. Hyperinflation. We may be burning our money for heat next winter. You know, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I've been saying this since the first days of the shutdown, that I was not concerned with the flu. I was concerned with the economy, that we couldn't take much more than a week of shutdown. And then I said, well, maybe a month, or, well, 2 months. And it's a year and a half and things are still not back. And what's going to happen when all the people that are working at home stay home, and all these office buildings in New York, rents aren't being paid by many of these large chain stores. They're not paying. They just, or whatever. What are they going to do with all these buildings? And these buildings are owned. It's buffering again. These buildings are owned by large investment groups. And when they, it's already over. Look, I mean, look at inflation. You may not see, God, look, you get on a subject like this and it starts buffering right away. You got to wonder sometimes. But yeah, once that starts, I mean, look at, they say there's no inflation, but we all know candy bars keep getting smaller and smaller, and toilet paper keeps getting smaller and smaller, and the roll in the middle keeps getting bigger and bigger, right? And that's inflation, guys. That's inflation. Go to the grocery store and buy $100 worth of food. Add it up as you're going. When you get to 100, go check out. What does $100 buy you today at the grocery store? 1 bag? If you got meat, 2 bags, maybe. Food is so out of line, it's unbelievable. I still hold to the fact that it will be $6 a gallon by 4th of July. I'm going to make that. I keep printing money and not have hyperinflation. You can't, they're artificially controlling down. Solution to this type of economic problem, we wouldn't be in the problem we have today, right? I don't think there is a fix to this other than an utter crash and revaluation of everything. I think that's what you see. Think about it, guys. There's a reason, an absolute, not phony baloney, not political. There's an absolute reason the National Guard is still surrounding our house. So I wouldn't make it this long. You know, the videos we got coming, the guns we tested today and everything. Here, hopefully it does. If not, I'm going to cut it short. But anyhow, I just wanted to do about an hour tonight, guys. Go. Thanks for coming by. I don't want to annoy you guys constantly with this. I may even, if I don't get it handled next week, we may postpone them until I do have this internet thing dialed in, because it just sucks. It's frustrating as hell for you guys. Normally, I see it on my end, though, and it's fabulous. The next going to be cool. You'll have the Tavor X95 coming out, and the Shorty AR, and a few other surprises, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys all for your help. Thank you guys for stopping in. Mateo, 2AEDU, Joe, all of you guys, everybody that's in here. If I forget one of you, please don't hold it against me. Martin Co. Much, and we'll talk to you soon. Out.